Okay, I call the December 17th meeting of the Rec Commission to order at 6:03. Roll call, Nancy Roberts,
Mike got up.
Donna Prather,
Robin Poliquin.
Jessica Stacy.
Dan.
Dan Reynolds.
Okay. You want to table the minutes until the next meeting, seeing we don't have a full quorum? Did everybody? Oh, hi, Tom. I think he's here. Did everybody receive their minutes? Because I got a couple things back that they were corrupt and they wouldn't let them open them. Don, did you finally get it set?
Oh, I had no problem opening them up. Thomas
Okay.
had no problem.
I know Tom said his was.
I got them the second time you sent them.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm glad you got them.
Thank you.
Nancy, are you able to take the lead for me on this?
Yes, I am. Tom, we're going to table the minutes till the next meeting, seeing this was a special meeting anyhow for the ice rink. All right?
Perfect.
So, Donna, do you have a director's report you would like to do before we get into it?
no, I just was going to focus on the rink tonight.
Go ahead, floor is yours.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I anticipate it being here fairly soon. When I talked to the representative, she said that they have a warehouse in Connecticut that's pretty close. So the plan is that it's going to go directly to Leahy, and that if it comes during the DPW hours, that Bruce will send over a crew to help. And then if we can get as many of us over there too, the what do you call it? Truck will have a gate to put it down, and it's on a pallet. So Bruce and I just are thinking that we just slide it right inside the gate.
Hey, Donna, how big is the pallet? Is it big enough to get through the gate?
I didn't ask.
But we have the wide side gate on the first base side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double gate. Okay.
I can't imagine that won't go in there, but if it's coming on a truck, it's going to go through that gate. So that's as far as the delivery goes, and then we'll have to also work with getting the snow removed, because I anticipate that it'll be here when the snow's still here. So that's where we are as far as delivery, and then we can arrange to get a team together to start putting it together. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is helmets. If you're looking online at different skating rinks, some say helmets, some don't. Some have more sophisticated helmets, some just have bike helmets. And I just wanted to know what your thoughts would be on helmets.
Donna, this is Tom. My 2 cents would be skid at your own risk, means bring your own helmet, or skid at your own risk.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I don't think winter hats would fit under the kids' bike helmets anyhow. And I'd rather see a winter hat on them than a cold bike helmet.
Is that where we want to put in like a waiver check thing or something on the sign-in?
Yes, we could do that. Yeah. So they have to check the box before they can check out. I want to back up first. Mary, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us the green light.
Yes, Mary, thank you very much.
Sorry, I kind of was looking at meat and potatoes, and I should have put some shout outs. And Bruce Goldman, who brought this idea to me. The Rec Commission, Bruce Feeney. I mean, just everybody. It just came together in an extraordinary way. Once Mary gave us the green light, it's just amazing how many people stepped up, and Robin sent out letters. Jessica put it on Facebook. Dan researched Easy Ice. I mean, you guys were just great. So everybody played a part. So thank you so much. So I should have started out with that. Sorry about that. Is there anybody else I missed that we should thank?
How about all our contributors that
Yeah, the
came forth so
donors, yeah.
quickly?
Yeah, definitely those donors and sponsors, that's for sure. So, okay, so back to the meat and potatoes. We're gonna do the signups like we did at the pool. I was talking, I wanted to see if we could, what you guys thought about time, 2-hour time blocks. Hi, Darlene. And what type of time blocks that we want. I was thinking open skate, stick and puck, hockey skills and drills, lessons. Mary suggested just adult time and date night. And then I was thinking about having a senior times. We could put the senior and the little kids together so they can skate and not get ran over. Is there anything else I'm missing that we might want to think about? And the other thing is that, if we find out that that we don't have a lot of seniors or tots, then we won't offer that as often. Maybe just, a couple of days a week or something. And if stick and puck is so popular, we run it every day. We're just going to have to play with the schedule to see, where the interest is.
What are the hours you're thinking, Donna?
I was kind of thinking noon to 9:30. What does everybody else think?
As long as you got volunteers or workers to cover those
Yeah.
hours, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's
Is that-
staffing this?
Is that noon to 9:30 every day, or can we just keep it with school hours? So maybe during a weekday, we go 3:30 till 9:30?
Yeah, that's a good point. I only said noon because I was thinking about that senior and tot time.
Yeah, the senior and tot time, maybe if you started a couple days a week a little earlier, and get their time in,
Okay.
beforehand.
Otherwise,
We're still under curfew from 10 to 5 a.m., right?
yeah, that's why we have to cut it down at 9:30 so people be home at 10.
Yeah, is that going to allow time to clean off the ice and clean up and turn it down and so forth? I mean, it might be a little tight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We
Maybe
could go
should-
to 9 o'clock.
Might be easier if it was just a half hour earlier.
Okay, that's fine. So the other thing that we're still playing with is the light situation. The lights that we went to look at in Long Meadow turned out to not be, won't fit our needs. They were obsolete. The bulbs are hazardous, and it's just not going to be a fix. I'm working with Joe Dunn and the electrician to look at power sources for other alternative lights. We might end up just having to go with light towers this year. But I'll keep you posted on that. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is purchasing some type of heaters for the staff and skaters if they need to. I was thinking of one of the towers maybe that the restaurants have that they can get under. Or do you think for 2 hours they maybe just get something for the staff because they'll be there longer?
Well, Donna, my 2 cents on that, they're very hard to find because they've been purchased by a lot of the local restaurants. So they're very hard to find at this point. But the other thing is if we are utilizing those picnic tables in the parking lot, maybe we can have a night where one of the local restaurants who does have them could bring them over and sponsor it as that night. Like, for example, CSG, Fazio's, a couple of them do have those outdoor picnic areas themselves. Like, for example, CSG has the Boy in a Bubble
Okay.
dining option.
Yeah, but I think they have radiant heat. I don't think they're not using these in those.
Yeah, but they also do have the stanchion towers. They have those towers that are still out there.
Yeah, on their patio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we utilize those. And maybe we partner with some of the restaurants and put those heat lamps in that parking lot dining area. But I would be worried about their safety, whether or not they can be locked up at night.
Okay. The other thing that I was thinking about is I know that the last time I looked, they were sold out, but I was thinking about trying to get a bubble for the staff. What, if you guys thought that would be appropriate?
Can we
You know,
utilize
those-
the, oh, go
I
ahead,
heard
Mary.
those bubbles were like COVID cabanas. Is that,
Well-
are you talking about the kind of thing they have at Center Square Grill? Those
Yes.
little igloo houses?
Yeah.
That's a new
But-
term, Mary, COVID cabanas.
I read
So-
that somewhere. It's not original, but you might want to talk to Joe Dunn about whether or not we can rent a tent. There was some talk about putting a tent in the
Oh.
town hall parking lot for residents' use for those who have
Yeah.
to come to town hall and can't come in the building. You know, I don't know, it wouldn't provide much warmth, but at least it would be some shelter if we
Yeah.
could get a small one and just set it up nearby. I know
Okay.
at Porter Lake in Forest Park, they have that skate house that, but it's a fully built out structure. It's brick and it's got lavatories and everything else. Obviously, that's not in
Well,
our
maybe-
scope of thinking at the moment, but
Yeah,
Well, maybe we can utilize the dugouts that we
Yeah.
have there.
Yeah, that's my,
something like that.
or can we
That's-
utilize the building, like the snack stand there?
it's the snack, that's on the other side, that window's on the other side. There's a door to get in, you can get in there, but,
Filled with all kinds
not
of
to
waste.
open a window.
Yeah, there's like, there's lime and all kinds of equipment in
Yeah.
there. We'd have to-
I would prefer, like I said earlier, maybe we just use clear plastic, and just for a windbreak, and then we can run an electric heater in the dugout was probably be our best bet at this point then. The other thing was the concession piece. I just, I don't know if that's something that we're gonna be able to pull off this year. Maybe once we get the rest of this going, if it's a possibility. But I think that for the time being, if you guys are okay with it, we won't start out with concessions. Any thoughts on that?
I'm good with that, Donna.
Okay,
I want to get the rink done first and then, build it, they will come.
okay. The other thing that I was thinking about purchasing is some of the, help me out here. It's like a walker on ice. I was looking at them earlier here.
Skate trainers.
Yeah, skate trainers for some younger kids. They're not, they're not they're reasonably priced, and I just thought that would be a nice way to maybe get the non-skaters going, because I've heard from several parents that their kids don't skate, but now because of not having basketball and things like that, that they would consider getting their kids into skating. And I thought that might be nice. Nancy mentioned, we said we won't have the panels that kids can grab onto. You've seen the pictures where people are grabbing onto the walls and the ice rink. We won't have that. So if we have these skate aids, maybe that would help. So if you're okay with that, I'd like to get some of those.
Yeah, are they made out of PVC?
Yeah, in Indy, we made our own out of PVC the first few years. And that I'm okay with that too, if someone has some
Yeah, 'cause when
plumbing.
when my son did learn to skate before he started skating, it was like little PVC kind of things that you wheeled around. And then when my brother skated in the 70s, they used to just use chairs back in the day that you just kind of skated around with.
That's what we use for my kids.
Yeah. So
Okay,
PVC is nice. It should be cheap.
okay,
Make it
I
a real
will.
throwback experience. Bring your own chair.
there you go.
Learn to skate with a chair from home. Well, I think Tom's right. I think you're gonna have a tremendous enthusiasm for this, and I really applaud all of you for the effort you put in, because I think it's going to be a great success. I can't wait for it to be set up. And I think those skate trainers are a great idea, Donna. If you have to buy them, seems like there's sufficient money through Jessica's hard work on Facebook. So.
The other thing is I looked at, Robin mentioned it, and I did some more checking. on the they call it the Backyard Ice Resurfacer. There's a lot of things out there. I think we're gonna, I think to keep the ice nice, we need to purchase that. I found one for like $199. They're not outrageous. There's even DIY kits on how to make it. I talked to Bruce, and he is going to do the water piece of it. He's going to fill it for us, and then he'll have his guys go out and smooth it down. But if we could get that piece of equipment for them, I thought it would make it easier for them. I know we need hot water, and I've been thinking about that piece too, but I just don't know how to do that this year with our setup. Any thoughts on that piece?
Yeah, I mean, about the cleaning of the ice, my questions are like, how often does it need to be cleaned? Do we need to set a time frame of 15 minutes to a half an hour to resurface the ice every once in a while? Does cold water make it longer to set than if you put hot water down, which is done on NHL rinks and rinks, you know, the Zambonis throw hot water on the surface
Right.
because it dries quicker. So these are kind of questions that we need to, who's going to be doing it?
I was thinking that Bruce's team could do it first thing in the morning, and then if we have a time, like you said, Don, have a time block before the crew goes out for the day, so we do it twice a day.
I'm not an ice expert. Somebody told me though that like after 2 hours of having a bunch of people skating out, it can get pretty choppy and pretty.
I think Bruce
In,
Goldman was saying
Springfield
that. He's
at
actually
the-
in the waiting room right now. He texted me.
Bruce is?
Yeah, Bruce Goldman is. And I think he's the one who's saying that it would need to be resurfaced like every couple hours.
Yeah, why don't we get Bruce in
He's on
That's
his
what they
way.
do in Springfield, Mike, and Donna, at Smead Arena and at the, I got the names mixed up, but there's one at Blunt Park and one in Forest Park, and they have 2-hour blocks, but they end at the 150 mark of the 2-hour period, and they clean the ice every 2 hours. Of course, there's a lot of skating, and it does get chopped up, and it gets a lot
Yeah.
of frost, and so depending on volume, plus those are indoor rinks, and I'm sure the humidity adds to the ice breakdown, so maybe ours wouldn't need to be cleaned off that
So I
often.
don't know if you all can hear me. I was just let in. So I have a couple answers to your questions about that. It's going to need to be resurfaced more than you think. If you're doing 2-hour ice blocks, it's going to have to be resurfaced after every 2-hour block. It's going to get choppy, and that's just the way it is. So it's just something.
Can I just make a comment here, guys? I mean, we're doing a lot of great work, and we put a lot of things into getting this skating rink. Can we just get the rink up and see how much usage we get, and then detail out how we're going to do the resurfacing? I mean, I agree. We're going to have some type of, but doing it at this point, I think we need to all get together and figure out how we're going to get the rink up, at what time, and how we're going to get it manned, right? For people who are going to oversee people coming and going, the number of people because of COVID rules. I don't disagree that it needs to be resurfaced, but I think we're getting ahead of our skis, or ahead of our skates right now.
Okay, that's fair enough. I just trying to look long term. So as far as manning it and the time blocks, we've got that. We've got experience in that from the pool this summer, and we'll just use the same setup that we did with that. So I'm confident that that'll work, because we made it work this summer. So
I have questions about that too that we can get to after. Tom's probably rolling his eyes already, but you know, like there's going to be some of those winter days you got the sun beating on it, and is the ice not going to be ready between, you know, at 12 o'clock? If we're thinking about starting at 12, could it be a little slushy at 12 till the sun goes down, and then it gets nice at 4 o'clock? So what if people sign up at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Are those people going to be turned away when they show up because it's too slushy? Somebody makes a decision that's too slushy, and then it becomes nice to skate on at 4 o'clock when the sun goes down. And these are
We
kinds
can
of things
do-
we gotta.
Yeah, we can do I'm gonna have an ice checklist and things that the staff will check out ahead of time, just like we did at the pool. And at the pool, if it stormed and they signed up for that time block, we would just move them to another time block. So I
Okay.
think,
That's right.
yeah, along the same lines as we did that.
Very good.
Hey, Donna, can I just interject for one? Because I kind of came in late and I
Yeah.
heard you talking about helmets and stuff like that. I think when you're talking about stick and puck time, you have kids with sticks. You're going to want to have helmets and face shields for that part of the programming, because sticks will get up, and if kids are falling, it's just you're asking for something to happen without sticks and helmets in that situation. I'm not saying you need it for everything, but certainly when you're talking hockey,
Yes.
I definitely would in full face shield, because you don't want kids getting a wild stick in the teeth, and then there's problems. So just my 2 cents on that.
And I'm guessing that if they have skates and pucks and sticks, that they probably already have the helmets too. Yeah, Darlene?
In that staffing plan, does it include and Bruce maybe can answer this, do rinks typically have a first aid certified individual in the plan?
I know that they have first aid kits, but do they have someone to administer first aid? I don't know. I think if you're talking about programs, like if you're talking about like FMC and instructors, they're kind of trained in first aid, but you might not have someone on, you know what I mean? So they have kits, but
they're not necessarily first responder trained, but if Donna's using some of her pool staff, they're possibly cross-trained in basic first aid.
First aid,
already.
CPR, yeah.
And so are the camp counselors, and that's the staff I'll be using.
Perfect.
Okay, that being said, is there anything I haven't covered or anything that I need to research or
Fees. What are your
Fees?
fees going to be? Usage fees.
I'm pretty set on $2 for kids and seniors, and like 3 or under, or even 5 and under free, or and then 4 for adults. What I was thinking about.
You have to be careful with that, Donna. Might want to reach out. I'll do some research with council. I think there's a standard that if you charge for recreational use, then the liability to the town is lessened. In other words, injuries, the plaintiff who might be injured has a lesser burden of proof if they've paid a fee to use the premises. If it's free, then they have to have a higher standard. That happened in Forest Park when the city of Springfield implemented a entrance fee years ago.
Okay.
I'll get you that information tomorrow. So unless
Okay.
it's really necessary to charge in order to make this viable, I'd suggest that maybe we not charge if you can get by without it.
Okay, that's kind of what Tom was saying too. I was just thinking about recouping the staff cost, but maybe you and I and Steve can work on that. I don't want to use the donor sponsorship money for staffing. I'd prefer to use that towards maybe, the other thing I found out is with the kit that we have, if we want to expand, we don't have to just like throw out the liner and get a new liner. They have extension kits. And I'd rather that the sponsorship and that type of money goes for actual equipment on the rink. So Mary, you and I can work on that piece as far as
Yep.
the money.
Yes, of course.
The only other things, Jessica, maybe you can get it. I'd just like to, maybe before we leave, I want to just run down who our sponsors were, and so that we can thank them. If there's no other logistical things that you want to cover. Anyone?
I was just going to say regarding the signage and when does that sort of need to be finalized? And if we're, if we're going to do some kind of, grand opening, sort of, publicly announce, the opening, and possibly even engaging, I don't know, even the media and saying, hey, we've got this, fantastic ice skating rink in town, and are we opening it up to other towns as well? That's what I'm asking, I guess.
I would assume we would, but I mean, I'm willing to hear your thoughts on opening it up to other people. And about the signage, Jordy has a plan on how to do that. We're going to have a huge board with all the donors on there, and that would be up. I even thought about having a ribbon cutting ceremony and have the donors there.
I reached out to Pip Printing in town, and they're willing to assist in the signage and the posters. So
Okay.
as long as I sort of know what the plan will be, I can present that to Michael Tardby. He's the owner of Pip Printing.
Okay.
So we can coordinate that, and I'd like to get,
Okay.
As far as things go with a grand opening, it probably should be by invite only and have Don film it and then put on LCAT because of the fact that we're under COVID guidelines. I don't think we can publicize it to the whole community because we would end up with too many people. That's how they did the Christmas tree lighting.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Yep, we'll do that.
I would like to make a point about staffing. Donna, did you budget for basketball in the 2021 budget? And can't we repurpose the hall monitors and the monitors that we would have had at the various locations for basketball? So it's just like a net situation,
Well,
isn't it?
Tom, the problem with that is that I'm not taking any money in for basketball. I mean, the money that I would take in for basketball fees would be the budget to hire staff. So in that respect, I don't have any money for monitors for basketball because I don't have registration fees.
That's a fair point. I just wanted that to be made.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
And Donna, I don't want to totally disregard the potential for a small fee for entry or for use. I just want to verify the legal standard as to what it means for the town, and I can get you that by tomorrow.
Mary, would it mean anything different? Because we charge fees for basketball, we charge fees for soccer, and it's still done on property.
No, it is different. When you're using open space and charging a fee for open space, I think that's where the differential comes
Okay.
in.
All right.
But I will double
Just
check.
curious.
Those are sort of registration fees, like to play the game or pay the refs or use the gym or buy the uniforms or something. But when you're having admission to a park or an open space activity, I think the standard's different. And I just want to verify it before you make final plans.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
Mary, one point I'd like to make, maybe the variance is this is situated on an athletic field currently anyways. Not an open
Right,
space.
that's what right. I'll check into it.
Okay, is there anything else I've missed that I need to do?
Anna?
Yes?
Well, Jessica's been waiting. I'll
Oh, I'm
defer to
sorry.
her, and I'll go after Jessica.
I just wanted to answer Dan about media and getting it out there, for people to know. I actually was, Sarah from The Reminder reached out to me last week, and she actually asked if she could give me a call tomorrow after we had this meeting so that she could feature the ice rink in a story with The Reminder. So it is going to be published, and obviously it's had a lot of attention on Facebook as well.
Nice job.
So, and then on that note, awesome job to the committee that's leading this project, Robin, Dan, Bruce, who brought the idea to the town. And Mike, are you on this committee as well? Okay.
No,
I know I'm leaving somebody out, but Jessica, your Facebook posts are awesome. I've been following them. But I did have a neighbor come to me. Her husband was in the minor leagues. He's affiliated with the Thunderbirds. I encouraged them to reach out to you, Donna. I don't know if they did. Did you hear from that neighbor, that resident?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so if we are looking to have a special event for ribbon cutting or something, I'd be interested in talking to the subgroup on that event and maybe putting them in touch with this family. This
Yeah.
family member played for the Thunderbirds and then traveled abroad and played overseas in the hockey league. And they would love to be a part of this project in any way and support this initiative. And they maybe do some of the Learn to Skate clinics as well.
Great.
And in addition to that, when I was in the PTO at Meadowbrook, we were working with some food trucks for special events. If we aren't going to do concessions, there are some restaurants that have food trucks, and maybe work with this same group that's leading this the rink project, possibly discuss having special events nights to showcase our local restaurants in town and bring them in as the vendor for evening events. Just a thought I had and wanted to share with that group at some point. And I'd be willing to work on special events.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think the food trucks is a great idea. I think so. I went to Silver Bells farm, and they had a couple of like really good food trucks there. So full service food, hot drinks, cold drinks. So that's kind of where my mind was at as well.
Fazio's has one. We've used them at Meadowbrooks, and I'm sure there's probably others in town, but they're really great about following our health codes and permits and getting permitted in town. So as a starter, I'm sure, and there may be others that I'm not fully aware of, but I know that we probably should, if we're not going to take on concessions, maybe that's a way to showcase them. They'll bring some of their equipment when we're talking about heaters, if they're interested in partnering and being a part of this.
Hey, Tom, do you got any pull with getting Frankie Vetrano involved at all? They're not starting camp until after the holidays, I know. Take a walk down your street and bang on their door, or what?
We can table that for another situation, Don. Thank you.
Guess that means no.
It means not to be discussed on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to, Jess, you want to take over with the list on your thermometer?
Sure. We have our sponsors or donors are Porter Road Pet Care, Mr. Ralph Page, Pratt & Son Painting, Don and Donna Shaw, Arment Trucking. We had an anonymous donation. Tom Kay, Amy Johnson, GMH Fencing, People's Bank, Pioneer Gymnastics, Kate Forbush-Rucci in honor of her dad, Steve Forbush, Rich and Amy Verez, Burgess Schultz and Rob PC, Kate and Gary Gray, Kate Chung, and McGill Hose and Coupling. Those are our up-to-date donors.
Great, thanks.
What was the final total for donations so far?
With just take out the 3,000 from the Rec Commission, just for.
So without our donation from Friends of Recreation, we brought in $8,450 in donations.
That's incredible.
Yeah, really. I mean, 7,000 in one day was just awesome.
Wow.
So again, yeah, thanks for the Facebook and the letters. That was that helped. I mean, that did it. So okay, yeah, that's all I have. If anybody else has anything else.
We just quickly go over the steps of what we're doing, so it's getting delivered like within a week, and then DPW is putting the whole thing up, or are we gonna need our help, or?
We're putting it up. We're putting it together. DPW will fill it with the fire hydrant.
So Rec Commission is putting it up?
Rec Commission, volunteers, anybody that wants to come out and do it. If you guys, I don't know if you go to Easy Ice, they've got some videos, and one of them is a group of 80-year-olds putting it together, and the next one was 8-year-olds putting it together. So I think between us, this group here, we're, with maybe a few others, we're in good shape.
Donna, where do we usually store all those seats that we use for baseball, like the seats on the like the first base, for the teams on the first and third base side? Should we get something like that inside the park so the kids can sit down and put their skates on? And I don't know, do we need to, depending on how far away, like I mentioned to you the other day, do we need to have mats like placed on the ground for them to walk on so they don't ruin their skates? I don't know.
Yeah,
Bruce,
no, that's a good, yeah. We've got benches that we can bring in.
At this point, but I'm thinking the kids are going to want to sit down on something and.
Yeah, I can check into the mat situation. And then we have some benches up at Pine Knoll that kids can use to put their gear on. I think I was talking to Nancy about if skates come with the blade covers, maybe they can even walk in with them. I guess we just have to play with it and see what's best. Bruce, what do you think about mats?
Yeah, I think you're going to probably want something to get from where they're putting their skates on to the actual surface just for them to walk on, because if they walk on any sort of pebble or anything, yeah, they could ruin their blades pretty quickly. So if you have just a short path of mats of some sort to get from point A to point B.
Okay, good. Thanks, Don. And of course, you can email me, call me, and I'll let you know they're going to call before they deliver. So my plan is to be at Leahy when the order comes in. So I'll let you all know.
And I assume that with all the snow that we got today, that the field has to be.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We mentioned that before you popped on. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like I said, I think that snow's still going to be here.
Yeah, I do too.
Don, are they going to give you a heads up when it's going to arrive?
They'll give me a phone call. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's probably one of those things. We'll be in your area between this time and this time. So. Okay. Nancy?
Our next meeting, are we the first or the second Tuesday of the month? Refresh me because we've changed this so many times. Tom?
I'm looking here.
Because it's either going to be the 6th or the 13th.
We're second and fourth, Mary.
Okay, so our next meeting will be January 13th. Unless we need one ahead of time because something comes up with the skating rink. Other than that, our regular scheduled meeting will be January 13th at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Any other?
That's a Wednesday, yes?
No, no, we're not Wednesday.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because Wednesday, January 13th is a Wednesday.
No, January. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I haven't gotten into the 2020 calendar yet. Thank you, Don.
Okay.
We will be the 11th.
Yep, you're actually on there already.
Oh, you already put us in. Thank you very much.
Well,
not that I want to keep 2020 around. Okay, so our next meeting will be January 11th at 6 o'clock. Is there anything else before I close the meeting? Okay, I make a motion that we close our meeting.
Second.
Okay, our meeting is officially closed. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the 11th.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Welcome. Bye.